Hey guys, welcome back to the Bitcoin Bunker. I'm your host, Satoshi Down Under, and today I've got my first guest on the show. He's a good mate of mine, Leon, and we've both met in our previous work lives. Both had a lot to do with business and investing, and this was probably around 2017 with the beginning of the bull run in 2017 in crypto, and kind of became close there, and then went through the bull market, subsequent bear, and then went through another market cycle together before finally finding our way to Bitcoin only. We both did a lot of the shitcoining on the way, and after the last bear market we both did a deep dive into Bitcoin, which took a lot of work, and subsequently Leon has decided to write a book and publish a book called 123 BTC, which we're going to talk about now, basically trying to help fast track any people new to the space to avoid all the pitfalls and traps that we both ended up going down. So without further ado, Leon, how are you, mate?
Satoshi, what's going on, mate? Thanks for having me on. Very proud to be your first guest. Keen to have a bit of a chat about the book and about Bitcoin itself, and hopefully can steer a few people in the right direction.
Yep. So I guess gave us a bit of the background history, but did you want to chat a bit more to that and what led you to writing the book? Because obviously it would have been a lot of work trying to put all those lessons and all those learnings down on paper and the multiple edits and all of that. So how'd you come about deciding to do that, mate?
Yeah, so as you said, mate, we've been in this since around 2017, almost going on 10 years now when I look at the date. So it's pretty phenomenal. It doesn't feel like that long, but it has been now. We probably should have a lot more Bitcoin to our name and be a lot wealthier than I'd like to be, but we're still in a good position. But at the end of the day, we've finally settled and figured out for ourselves what really is important in this cryptocurrency space. It's taken a while. As you said, we got in 2017, rode the highs, rode the lows, went through another market cycle, and then into the most recent market cycle. And I'd say it was probably halfway through the last cycle, towards the end of it, that you were really starting to get right onto the path of Bitcoin only. I resisted it a little bit at the time. I remember you saying things, and I was heavy in alts and didn't want to believe what you were saying, and was had a bit of a hope that the alt market and a bunch of what were massive projects would continue to succeed. And don't get me wrong, there's you've still got the outliers like Ethereum, XRP, a couple of altcoins that seem to be doing well, but at the end of the day, we both know they're centralized, basically just companies. They're nothing like Bitcoin and what Bitcoin can do. They cannot do anything like what Bitcoin can do. And in my opinion, they're just there to pull people away from what will really bring financial freedom and people the ability to be able to break free from a controlling system that we're all sort of locked down by the monetary system that we need to use. And I suppose that that knowledge that I've gained over the years, I want to share through the book. We had a page, Crypto Kings Down Under, that we used to share, TA, a bunch of great information. I've had people reach out to me in the past and thank me for the work that we did there. That was completely free. We've never really tried to make $1 from this. It's not about that. It's about genuinely trying to steer people in the right direction, what we believe is the right direction. I've had so many convos, I've said this to you a number of times, with people where they just spew FUD back at me, misleading information that they've heard. They haven't done the research, so it's very short-ended conversations, and unfortunately, so many people have their minds made up. We talked this morning about that through the bear cycles, there always seems to be some new narrative that's the reason that Bitcoin's going to go to zero, and everybody jumps on board and believes it, and we wash out all these new hands that got in at some point from halfway up the market cycle to the peak. So they're in a down position, they see all this negative, and it basically rinses them out for good. And yeah, this book is really about sharing the knowledge, letting people understand what Bitcoin's really about, from a fundamental point of view, how money actually works. A lot of people throw the words inflation around, hyperinflation, things like that, but don't actually know what they mean. And that's what the book, it sort of walks them through from the start, and it explains those sorts of things so that people can actually understand the fiat currency system that the world uses, and then makes its way through to cryptocurrency, and then Bitcoin, and sort of shows that it's a champion to sort of hedge against a failing, inflating currency.
Yeah, good points, man. I think I've mentioned it on the show before. The reason people can't understand Bitcoin and they think it's some new multi-level marketing scheme or some other sort of Ponzi is because of the money. They don't actually stop and question what money is and where it comes from, the current fiat currency, I mean. So I like how the book sort of starts with a little bit of a history of money, through the ages, from the Roman Empire and coin clipping, moving into using gold and silver as currency, and then leading through to today where we use basically government issued currencies. They're all paper, and essentially they're backed by the barrel of a gun, whoever's got the biggest military, or the state itself decides to issue the money, central banks issue the money. So without that fundamental, which you cover in the book, the first few chapters, I think it's very hard for anyone to understand the use case for Bitcoin and the premise of Bitcoin. And then obviously, as you dive into the book, a few more chapters around mining, what proof of work is, that Bitcoin's backed by energy. So electricity expended is what creates the Bitcoin. When you win a block, and then obviously you cover the hard cap, 21 million, and then you cover the differences between cryptocurrencies, like the couple that you mentioned. Ethereum used to be proof of work, which meant that you could mine it. The supply was a lot greater than Bitcoin, but at least at that stage, a few years back, it had the proof of work mechanism, meaning that you actually had to put in that electrical energy in order to mine it. Now, the only issue with that, of course, was Vitalik Buterin, the founder, and other insiders had already allocated themselves large portions of the distribution. So that was sort of the key difference with Bitcoin, where Bitcoin began with Satoshi, Hal Finney, and a few others were all mining Bitcoin from the start. So they all had to put in the proof of work. But yeah, I like the book, kind of, I guess, that introduction to money to start with, because it's such a key piece, and a bit of the history of the failings of money. And you go through Argentina and other places like that have experienced hyperinflation, which we believe is coming to all fiat currencies, just by nature of the fact we live in a debt-based Ponzi scheme where they have to keep issuing credit in order to pay down interest. Like it's this merry-go-round which you can't escape, until we came across Bitcoin. So yeah, the book's really good. I think it's also good because Bitcoin can become, well, at first glance seems like, A, you have to figure out why do you need it, what's the use case it solves, and then B, you hear all these terms like mining and nodes and decentralized and blockchain and ledger, And, it can be a steep learning curve for anyone to learn, including ourselves over all those years. And then to add into that, you've got all of the shitcoin casino muddying the waters. So I think it's a good beginner book. It's a really concise book. A lot of the other books that are out there are way too technical, way too heavy on the monetary side, history of money and all the rest of it. And I think that steers people away. Like, I know personally, I've recommended The Bitcoin Standard by Saif Dean Amos. A great book for Bitcoin, but he really only mentions Bitcoin at the end, and it's predominantly a book about fiat currency, right? And Austrian economics being better than Keynesian economics, the system we live in now. So you hand someone that book or that book recommendation, and it's that bloody thick and that dense that I think your average normies just
puts them off.
They just put it down. So
yeah,
I can't recommend the book enough, Leon. Like, you put a lot of work in, and I think the way that it's easily readable, it's short, sharp, to the point, touches on all of these things, and then kind of gives you that brief overview to then be able to go down the rabbit hole and dive deeper into, the Federal Reserve and read all these other books if you're interested. So, yeah, man, I think you've nailed it. We'll put the links up in the description. Was there anything else you wanted to mention? Did I miss anything else in there that was like key points?
No, mate. I think you've given it a pretty good wrap. That's what it's about. Basically, 123 BTC, the beginner's guide to Bitcoin. It's a beginner's guide. It's simple. I believe it's 88 pages in length. It's novel size. It's not a massive book like, there's my hand. So 88 pages of that big. It's something you could honestly get through in 2 to 3 hours if you wanted to. And that was the intention. We don't want to, I didn't want to overload the reader. I just want the reader to be able to pick something up. It's quirky as well, it's not too technical. So hopefully, and it's supposed to relate to the person, the everyday person, the in the household, the worker, the person that's out there grinding away, trying to make a buck, and just wondering why they keep falling behind and why that things just seem to be getting tougher and tougher. It's relatable, and it's not technical. Like, I just really hope that people can find the book and get involved with Bitcoin. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. Quite simply, that's it.
Yeah. And just touching on that, so I think this is the other thing that people don't understand. Leon and I and all other Bitcoiners, we don't actually care if you buy Bitcoin or not. Like, a lot of misconception out there about everyone's
like
trying
it's
to
going
shill.
to affect our bag.
Yeah,
exactly.
like it's going to shill. We shill Bitcoin, and then that pumps our bags or something like that. But I mean, this is a decentralized network. You can opt in, you can opt out, whatever. You can choose to ignore it. It doesn't affect what's happening with us and anyone else in the Bitcoin community. And I think that's so different to any other kind of thing in society, right? Like, every other thing you can think of in society, it's like, what's in it for me? You know, we're doing a real estate deal, but what's in it for me? Who's on the winning side? Who's on the losing side? It's all about incentives, right? So, that's probably the other reason Bitcoin blindsides so many people, because their initial skepticism of all things is like, well, why is this guy trying to sell me this thing? He must be getting something out of it. And
there's that assumption for sure.
That's right. And once you dive into the Bitcoin community, you'll see that so many people do all of this stuff for Bitcoin for free. And literally that's all we did. Like Leon said, we had Crypto Kings Down Under when we were more into trading. We did charting. We were trying to get people involved in how to trade and all these other things. And we didn't make a cent off of that.
We probably lost. I'd say between the two of us, over 10K each, we would have invested into that community.
Yeah.
And I'm not bothered at all that we did. You know, like we tried to help people out there, and it's all a part of the path of getting to where we are today with the knowledge that we've got now, and hopefully we can share that. I love this video, this channel that you're doing, mate. I'm proud of what you're doing. It's great to see the passion that you've got, that I have as well, being put to good use. Keep with it, mate. I'm sure it'll pick up eventually, and yeah, you'll get that reward inside, knowing that you've helped a lot of people out by bringing them to Bitcoin.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, the incentive for all Bitcoiners is we're destroying the current corrupt fiat currency Ponzi scheme. You know, that's what we get out of it, right? So you buying Bitcoin actually just helps accelerate that. I mean, it's inevitable. The state's going to shrink. Central banking's going to die. But it requires more people getting on board with Bitcoin and deciding to put their hard-earned blood, sweat and tears into this thing rather than the ever-inflating fiat currency, right? So essentially there is something we get out of it, but we get something out of it collectively as a whole, as humanity, right? We get to move away from a corrupt, dying system and preserve our time and energy for ourselves, for our kids, for the future. So essentially that's why all us Bitcoiners are out here doing this, why Leon's put hours of his own time into writing a book. Hopefully it'll fast track anyone that's interested. It'll fast track your knowledge. It'll help you avoid some of the common pitfalls, and check it out.
Yeah, you definitely want to have an understanding. If you're investing in anything, you should understand what it is that you're investing in. That way, when things aren't looking great, if you understand what you're a part of, it'll give you confidence to stick through, because you and I both know there's bear markets and bull markets with these cycles with Bitcoin, and they may diminish over time as mainstream adoption takes place. But it's through those bear markets where the new buyers come in and they're down 20, 15, 30% on their portfolio, and they start stressing out. This knowledge here should help you to wane away and have those diamond hands, as you say, and just hold through and realise freedom and good gains in the future.
Yeah, that's right. Help you build the conviction. Yeah, well said, man. Well, thanks for coming on. I'll have you on again, I'm sure. We'll probably just do a few riffs about Bitcoin and other things, and 123 BTC, the beginner's guide to Bitcoin. There it is. So I think it's available in print and ebook form, Leon.
Correct, mate. Yep. Print stores worldwide, and the ebook got released last week. So you find it on most platforms, but it's still sort of probably got a week or so before it's up on all major platforms.
Awesome, man. All right. Well, we'll share those links in the description, and like I say before, guys, if you like the content, share it with your loved ones. Give us a like and subscribe. We're going to try and build up the channel. And just keep sharing the orange pill, sharing Bitcoin, trying to make these videos as educational as possible without going over too many people's heads. Leon will be a good guest to have back on, and we'll have a riff like the old days, brother.
Can't wait, mate.
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, and chat to you guys soon. See you, bro.
See you, mate.